Have you ever knelt in prayer, pouring your heart out to Allah, only to feel like your words vanished into the silence? Maybe you've wondered, is Allah listening? Does He hear me? Will He ever answer my prayers? These questions are not unfamiliar. They've crossed the minds of many believers, especially during moments of struggle and doubt. But what if I told you that there are specific times when Allah is not only listening, but He's actively inviting you to call upon Him? Moments when the veil between you and His mercy is thinnest, when your dua carries the weight of His promise. Call upon me, I will respond to you. Quran 40:60. Imagine this. You're standing at the edge of the ocean, watching the waves crash and recede. Each wave brings something closer to the shore, just as every heartfelt dua you make brings you closer to Allah's response. But here's the secret. Not every wave is the same. Some waves are stronger, surging forward with a force that cannot be missed. Similarly, there are moments in our lives when our duas carry a special power. Moments when Allah's response is nearer than we realize. In today's journey, we'll uncover the 3 times Allah answers your prayers the most. These moments are not only a source of hope, they are a reminder that Allah's mercy is ever present, waiting to envelop you. By the end of this discussion, you'll not only recognize these times, but also learn how to make your duas more powerful and heartfelt. Let's begin this spiritual journey together. Are you ready to discover these divine moments? Let's be honest, we've all had moments when we felt like our prayers were going unanswered. You might have raised your hands in desperation, pouring your heart out to Allah, only to feel as though nothing changed. The pain of waiting, the uncertainty, and the doubt, it can weigh heavily on the heart. You might ask yourself, why isn't Allah answering me? Is my dua not good enough? Am I being punished? These are thoughts that can creep into even the strongest believer's mind. And in these moments, it's easy to feel isolated, as though you're the only one experiencing this struggle. But here's the truth, you are not alone. Every believer, no matter how strong their faith, goes through periods of doubt, confusion, and longing. Even the prophets, those closest to Allah, faced moments where they pleaded for answers. Prophet Zechariah, A.S., prayed for years for a child, and Prophet Yusuf, A.S., waited through years of hardship before seeing relief. Yet their unwavering trust in Allah carried them through. And just like them, your struggles are not a sign that Allah has abandoned you. In fact, they are a sign of His closeness. Allah tests those He loves, not to burden them, but to elevate them. He hears every word you speak, every tear you shed, and every silent plea in your heart. Think about it. How many times have you prayed for something, only to realize later that what you received was far better than what you had asked for? Or perhaps a delay in an answer allowed you to grow in ways you never expected. Allah knows the right time, the right place, and the right way to answer your duas. Here's a comforting thought. There are specific times when Allah has promised to respond, times when your duas are especially powerful, and His mercy is especially near. By understanding and recognizing these moments, you can transform your prayers into powerful connections with Him. So, the next time you feel alone in your struggles, remember this: Allah is listening, and He is closer to you than your own heartbeat. Let's uncover these 3 divine times and learn how to make the most of them. Let's dive into the first story, a moment from the life of Prophet Yunus, A.S. Picture this. Yunus finds himself trapped in the belly of a whale, engulfed in total darkness. The sea stretches endlessly above him. The night sky cloaks the world in black, and his heart is heavy with despair. He is alone, deep beneath the waves, with no way out. But in this moment of utter isolation, Yunus turns to Allah. He doesn't blame, he doesn't despair. Instead, he utters a powerful dua. "There is no deity except you. Exalted are you. Indeed, I have been of the wrongdoers." Quran 21:87. This heartfelt plea, made from the depths of the ocean, reaches the heavens. And Allah, in His infinite mercy, responds. He commands the whale to release Yunus, saving him from what seemed like an impossible situation. Here's the lesson. Sometimes we feel trapped in the darkness of our struggles, just like Yunus. But those very moments when all seems lost are the times when our du'as hold immense power. Why? Because desperation strips away pretenses and brings us closer to Allah. It's in these raw, unguarded moments that He hears us the most. The power of du'a during sujud. Imagine yourself in sujud, the position of utmost humility before Allah. Your forehead touches the ground, your heart is open, and in that stillness, you feel a connection unlike any other. The Prophet Muhammad, P.B. said, "The closest that a servant comes to his Lord is when he is prostrating, so make plenty of supplication." Think of sujud as a bridge between you and the divine. It's a moment when all distractions fall away, and your soul whispers directly to its Creator. Have you ever noticed how comforting it feels to pour your heart out during sujud? That's because it's one of the times Allah promises to respond. Imagine a child running to their parent after a long day, seeking comfort and reassurance. That's what sujud is for a believer. It's the safest place to pour out your worries, knowing you're heard and cared for. The last third of the night, a divine invitation. Now, let's talk about another extraordinary time, the last third of the night. Picture the world around you, silent, still, and cloaked in darkness. While most people are asleep, you rise, seeking a private audience with Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, P.B., said, "Our Lord descends every night to the lowest heaven, when 1/3 of the night remains, and says, 'Who will call upon me, that I may answer him? Who will ask of me, that I may give him? Who will seek my forgiveness, that I may forgive him?'" This time is like an open invitation, a direct line to the one who holds the keys to your destiny. Think of it as a quiet room where you can speak freely, without interruptions, and know that Allah is listening with mercy and compassion. Imagine planting a seed in fertile soil under the perfect conditions. That's what your dua is like during the last third of the night. A seed destined to grow into something beautiful. Rain and the open sky. Finally, let's consider the metaphor of rain. Have you ever watched rain fall from the sky, washing away the dust and refreshing the earth? It feels almost magical, doesn't it? In Islam, rain is a sign of Allah's mercy, and it's one of the times when du'as are especially powerful. Imagine standing beneath the open sky, feeling the gentle drops on your skin, and raising your hands in prayer. It's as though the heavens and earth are aligned, and your words flow upward with the rain. Rain is a reminder that Allah's mercy surrounds us at all times. When you make dua during rain, think of it as planting your hopes in the soil of Allah's mercy, trusting that He will nurture them to fruition. The common thread: Allah's mercy. In all these stories and metaphors, Yunus in the whale, sujud, the last third of the night, and rain, the common thread is Allah's mercy. These moments are opportunities for us to draw closer to Him, to trust in His plan, and to find comfort in knowing that He hears every whisper of our hearts. When you recognize these times and seize them, your du'as transform from fleeting words into powerful connections with the divine. So, the next time you pray, think of Yunus in the darkness, yourself in sujud, or the world at peace during the last third of the night. These moments are your invitations to be heard, to be answered, and to find solace in Allah's mercy. Fourth, actionable takeaways 700 to 800 words. Purpose: provide clear, practical steps the audience can implement in their daily lives. Tone and style: encouraging and motivational, emphasizing consistency over perfection. Keep instructions clear and straightforward to avoid overwhelming the audience. Focus on tangible steps directly linked to the 3 times Allah answers your prayers the most, that are accessible and easy to integrate into daily routines. It's not easy to keep making dua when you feel like you're not getting an answer. The wait can feel endless, and doubts begin to creep in. You may wonder, is Allah really listening? Am I doing something wrong? Or worse, does He not care about me? But let's pause here and reflect on something profound. Your struggles, your unanswered prayers, and your moments of doubt are not signs of Allah's distance. They're signs of His closeness. Acknowledging the pain. First, let's acknowledge the reality of emotional struggles. It's okay to feel hurt, frustrated, or even disappointed. These feelings are part of being human, and Allah, in His infinite mercy, understands them. Remember, even the prophets experienced moments of deep sadness and uncertainty. Think about Prophet Yaqub, a.s. When he was separated from his beloved son Yusuf, a.s., he grieved deeply, crying until he lost his sight. Yet, even in his pain, he said, "Indeed, I only complain of my suffering and my grief to Allah, and I know from Allah that which you do not know." Quran 12:86. This verse reminds us that it's not wrong to feel pain, it's how we handle that pain that matters. Prophet Yaqub turned to Allah, not away from Him, pouring out his heart while trusting in Allah's wisdom. Reframing delays as growth. When a prayer goes unanswered, it's easy to interpret it as rejection. But what if the delay is actually protection? Imagine a child begging their parent for something that seems harmless, but could cause harm in ways the child can't understand. The parent's refusal isn't out of neglect, it's out of love. Allah's wisdom operates in the same way. When He delays or redirects our du'as, it's because He knows what lies ahead. Delays are not denials, they are opportunities for growth, patience, and trust. The Prophet Muhammad, Pohut, said, "No Muslim supplicates to Allah with a dua that does not involve sin or cutting ties of kinship, but Allah will give him one of 3 things in return. Either He will hasten what he asks for, delay it for the hereafter, or avert an equivalent evil from him." This hadith reassures us that every dua is answered, just not always in the way or timeline we expect. Turning pain into connection. Struggles have a unique way of pushing us closer to Allah. Think about the times when you felt the most connected in your prayers. Was it during moments of ease or moments of hardship? Pain forces us to confront our vulnerabilities, and in doing so it draws us nearer to Allah. When your heart aches, use that pain as fuel for your connection with Him. Say to yourself, "This is my chance to deepen my trust, to rely on Him completely." Practical steps for emotional resilience. Journal. Your thoughts. Write down your frustrations, your questions, and your prayers. Sometimes putting your feelings into words can bring clarity and relief. Turn to Quran and Hadith. Find comfort in the stories of the prophets, who endured immense trials yet remained steadfast. Make gratitude a habit. Even in hardship, there is always something to be grateful for. Gratitude shifts your perspective and reminds you of Allah's blessings. Surround yourself with supportive people. Talk to those who uplift you and remind you of Allah's wisdom. Avoid negativity that can deepen your doubts. Finding peace in Allah's wisdom. Remember, your emotional struggles are not a sign of failure. They're part of your spiritual journey. Each unanswered prayer, each tear shed, and each moment of frustration is a step toward something greater. Allah sees you, hears you, and knows your heart better than you do. He has not forgotten you. His plan for you is unfolding, even in ways you cannot see. Keep making dua, keep trusting, and know that Allah's mercy is closer than you can imagine. One of the most important lessons about dua is that consistency is more powerful than intensity. It's not about making dua once in a moment of desperation. It's about building a habit of turning to Allah regularly, in both hardship and ease. When you cultivate consistency, you create a foundation for long-term spiritual growth and strengthen your connection with Allah. Start small, but be consistent. The Prophet Muhammad, Pabuch, said, "The most beloved deeds to Allah are those that are consistent, even if they are small." Consistency doesn't mean spending hours in prayer every day. It means showing up regularly, even if it's just for a few moments. Imagine watering a plant daily with small amounts of water. Over time, it grows strong and healthy. The same applies to your spiritual growth. How to practice this? Dedicate specific times for dua, such as after Fajr, before sleeping, or during the last third of the night. Start with one simple habit, like raising your hands in dua every morning, and build on it gradually. Create a routine that fits your life. Building momentum requires integrating dua and spiritual habits into your daily routine. Just as you schedule meals or exercise, prioritize your connection with Allah. How to practice this? Set reminders on your phone for key times when duas are accepted, like during sujud or after prayer. Pair dua with existing habits. For example, make a quick dua while commuting, walking, or during moments of quiet. Celebrate progress, not perfection. It's easy to feel discouraged if you miss a day or don't see immediate results. But consistency isn't about being perfect. It's about continuing, even after setbacks. How to practice this? Acknowledge and celebrate small wins, like remembering to make dua during sujud or staying consistent with morning supplications. Reflect weekly on your progress and set small, achievable goals for the coming week. Rely on discipline, not just motivation. Motivation can waver, but discipline sustains momentum. Commit to your habits even on days when you don't feel like it, trusting that every effort is seen and rewarded by Allah. Why this matters? Just as a marathon runner builds endurance through daily training, your consistent efforts in dua and worship build spiritual resilience and connection over time. Keep the bigger picture in mind. Every dua, every small act of worship, and every moment of patience is a step towards something greater. Trust in Allah's timing, and let your consistent efforts serve as a testament to your faith in His wisdom. Over time, you'll not only grow closer to Allah, but also witness the profound impact of these habits on your life. As we come to the end of this journey, take a moment to reflect on the incredible gift of dua. It's more than just asking Allah for what you want. It's a bridge, a lifeline, and a connection to the one who knows your heart better than you do. We've uncovered the 3 times Allah answers your prayers the most: during sujud, in the last third of the night, and while rain is falling. These moments are not only opportunities for your duas to be heard, they are reminders of Allah's closeness, His mercy, and His unwavering attention to your needs. A final message of hope. Perhaps you're still waiting for an answer. Maybe you're holding on to a dua that feels unanswered, wondering if Allah has heard you. Let me reassure you, He has. Allah never ignores the prayers of His servants. Every dua is answered in one of 3 ways. He gives you what you ask for. He delays it to a time that's better for you, or He averts a harm you could never have foreseen. Trust that His plan is always better than your own. As Allah says, "And He found you lost and guided you." Quran 93:7. You are never forgotten, and your prayers are never in vain. The call to action. Now is the time to take action. Don't let this knowledge remain as words on a page or thoughts in your mind. Start applying what you've learned. Set a time tonight to wake up during the last third of the night, even if it's just for 5 minutes, and speak to Allah. Pay attention to your sujud during prayer. Make it a habit to pour your heart out in those precious moments. The next time it rains, raise your hands and ask Allah for what you've been longing for. A closing dua. As you begin this journey, I pray that Allah strengthens your faith, fills your heart with peace, and grants you the patience to trust in His timing. May your du'as bring you closer to Him and lead to blessings beyond your imagination. Remember, the power of du'a isn't just in the words you say, it's in the trust you place in Allah's wisdom. Start today and watch how your connection with Him transforms your life.